This is a spontaneous video. I hadn't planned to make this, but I've got to do it right now while this anger is in me, because I'm fucking fired up right now. I've had to come out to the car to do this video because I don't want the kids to hear it in the house. We're confined in another groundhog fucking quarantine day under house arrest yet again for who knows how much longer, and people are just putting up with it. Another thing people are just putting up with is all these ridiculous restrictions that are in place in the stores. I've just had the unfortunate experience of having to go into the town centre for a couple of items that I needed. And it is a fucking madhouse down there. People are queuing outside all the shops, standing in line like meek, obedient slaves. Nobody's thinking to question it. Everyone's just obeying. You've got the gatekeepers that they're putting on the doors of all these stores telling you how many people can go in, where you've got to stand, how much distance you've got to leave from the next person. Half the people in the queue are wearing these stupid fucking face masks anyway. Like that's going to protect them from anything. And just look at what our lives have become. The only thing you can do now is go out to the shop for essential supplies. You've had your freedom of movement taken away from you. You can't go to the pub if you choose, because they're not open. You can't go for a coffee in a cafe if you choose. You can't go into the countryside for a walk by the river. You can't go and sit on the beach. You can't go into the park. You can't go on holiday. You can't do any of these things. And people are just putting up with this. And the only thing that's left is going to the shops, which has become the highlight of many people's days, and look at the situation that we have to go through there. Standing in line like you're in a fucking concentration camp. Now, it would be one thing if all this was being done really for our own good, and if we had governments that truly care about us and want to keep us safe. But we know this isn't the case. It's never been the case. Your government doesn't care about you. They're there to control you. They, in turn, are controlled by higher powers that want to enslave, surveil, monitor, control, and dominate the entire human population. When are people going to wake up to this fact? There is enough evidence around now to prove that this is the case if people would only apply their free will to go and do this research for themselves. So the situation you have now, trying to get into these shops, standing behind these stupid bits of tape, people getting nervous when you get too close to them, going into the other aisle to walk past you, and nobody's objecting to it, everyone's just putting up with it. Look what our lives have become. All of this 1 month ago would have been unthinkable if you told people we would be living this way, if you told people they have to stand 2 meters away from you in the store, if you told people that only 4 people can be in a shop at any one given time. Nobody would have accepted it, nobody would have believed it. Look how quickly this has become our regular daily experience. I'm not happy about this, and I seem to be in a minority because most people that I meet are just putting up with it, just going along with it. For as long as you cooperate with madness such as this, don't expect it to change, don't expect it to get lifted. We're being conditioned and entrained to accept this as the new normal, and I'm not happy about it, and I'm not putting up with it. I'm not happy with living this way. I've got too much self-respect, too much dignity, and too much intelligence to put up with this shit. Damn right I'm fired up right now. Damn right I'm mad about it. And other people should be mad about it as well. Why is it only a small minority that are showing any concern about our freedoms being taken away from us? And this madness, this insanity that we're being required to live in. I'm not putting up with this. I don't want my kids to have to grow up in a world like this. And the only way it's going to be prevented is if enough people get mad about it, stand up and say they're not having it anymore. All of this that's being done, the social distancing bollocks, all these fucking restrictions placed on us, all the lack of freedom that we now have to go about our business, natural God-given rights to freedom of movement, so long as we're causing no harm. It's all being taken away from us, and it's all being based on lies. There is no COVID-19 coronavirus that's going to kill you if you get 1.9 meters away from the next person in the store. A shitty, stupid mask over your face is not going to protect you because this virus is not what we're told it is. You cannot catch it from person to person. Listen to what medical professionals are telling you about this. Listen to what Andrew Kaufman, this last week has been discussing in his interviews. Look it up. Get some alternative information. Don't just believe what liars, paedophiles and Satanists at the BBC and in government are telling you, because that's what they are, and they've got a proven track record of lying time and time again. Why would they be telling you the truth about this one? They're not. The COVID-19 situation is a provable lie. It's an excuse to bring in all kinds of draconian, totalitarian measures to fulfill the Agenda 2030 New World Order master plan. Most of the people watching this will be aware of it, but if you're not, you owe it to yourself and your families, your children, your grandchildren, to research this and get hip to what this is really all about. You're having your freedoms taken away from you, and most people seem to be just fine with it. They're standing in line, they're complying, they're not asking questions, they're not kicking up a fuss. Why is it always me? Why do I have to be the bad guy? I'm in the store the other day. 2 women are trying to walk out of the shop. They haven't bought anything. They just want to leave the shop. Person behind the counter says, you've got to stand in line with everyone else that wants to make a purchase just to leave the shop. I say to the assistant, they just want to leave. Why can't they just leave the shop? The assistant comes back with, oh, they've got to stand 2 meters away from the next person. Social distancing. Any of this a month ago would have been unthinkable. Nobody would have believed we'd be living this way. But then I get a mouthful of abuse from other people in the queue, somebody claiming they're a nurse. That's convenient, isn't it? A nurse in the right place at the right time, saying this virus is real, people could die, you're supposed to stay at home to save lives, they've got a social distance, they've got a safe distance from you, that's why they can't walk around you and leave the shop. Think about what is going on here. Where is sanity? Where is reason? Where is common sense? Where's dignity? Where's self-respect? Where's freedom? We have a right to live freely, and I don't take fucking kindly to having my freedoms taken away from me by the idiocy and the complacency and the complicity and the acquiescence of other people. It's unfortunate that people that are scared to death with all the lies that they've been fed by these paedophiles and Satanists who lie full-time for a living about what's really going on. It's unfortunate that the likes of us that can see through this and can actually apply a bit of critical thought and don't want to live this way and never consented to live in this way are having to be lumped in with everybody else, having our freedoms removed, having to live in this absolute insanity. I can't live like this. I'm not prepared to go on like this. This is not any kind of society that I belong to. And I know there's a lot of people that feel like me. Not enough. There needs to be more, because none of this is going to change until enough people get mad, until enough people stand up for their rights, until enough people stop complying with what's being asked of us, what's being demanded of us, and those demanding it have no right to take these things away from us. Where's this going to end, people? Just look at our daily experience. Something as simple as going to the store for something you need for your household while your family's being kept under martial law house arrest. What a fucking ordeal it is just to do that. And that's the only thing that's left. And that is going to be the new normal that is going to continue because it's been shown to have worked and people have been shown to have just put up with it without kicking up a fuss, without considering a breach of their rights, of their freedoms. I'm not prepared to put up with this. I can't live with this for much longer. I don't know what's going to happen, but this is no way to live. This is not life. This is not freedom. None of us deserve this. Why are we putting up with it? Why are we not getting mad? Why are people not kicking up a fuss? Why is it left to just a small minority of people like me and others to be voicing any kind of objection about this? It's straight fucking insanity, and I'm not having it. Who else is not having it? Who else has had enough? Who else is going to say no? Who else is going to resist? Who else is going to stop complying with this madness? All the morons out there, the COVID-idiots that don't mind being enslaved, well, that's up to them. But it's not for me. I'm not taking this shit any longer. Who's with me on this? What are we going to do about it? Because this is not living.